All right, what's going on, world? It's your man 5150 here. I am with my man J.Vladimir. He is in Miami right now, 305, Mr. South Beach himself. So J.Vladimir, we know you are into the photography world. You are into doing better as a person world. Introduce yourself and what do you do? Who are you? What do you do, man?
I feel like I'm an ESPN analyst talking about the draft. Well, I'm a photographer. That's what I do. I do commercial advertising, fashion.
So we are, you mentioned the word challenging, and we are in challenging times. So right now, a lot of people, including myself at times, we were stuck. All right, we came off this great economy. We came off this great landslide. I mean, money was flowing, stuff was going good. It was, it was a very easy, comfortable time for people. Then we hit this wall. It was like, boom. Coronavirus, COVID-19, things escalated, stay in your house, and economy, everything stops. So at this time, a lot of people, including myself, were like, all right. And so I'm definitely a progressive person. I always want to be learning, always want to be doing better. So I had to get around people like you and be like, all right, what's going on at this time? What are people doing? Where are my people that are still moving forward in these troubling times? So explain to us, what do you do to keep yourself on point when you can sit back, drink a beer, put your feet up, look at the skyline of Miami and just kick it? So what do you do for when you wake up, your daily rituals to keep you on point?
Well, I think this quarantine works, very well for us because I think we're disciplined people regardless. But I think if it wasn't for the quarantine, there's a lot of people that were set on their own ways and didn't have a ritual, didn't have a system to create. So this is forcing a lot of people to do this. You get what I'm saying? Like for a lot of people, and as bad as this sounds, quarantine on the positive side is making people get on their creative side. Almost that question that you were asked when you were 3 years old, where, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? I think quarantine has forced people to start going in that direction because you can't go back to your safe job. Gets paid every day, maybe that job for you was comfortable. You know what I'm saying? So for a lot of people, I think this is forcing people to step outside the box, to go back to that question that you were asked when you were 3 years old, what do you want to do for a living? Get creative again, get some discipline, because a lot of people don't have discipline. For me, I shave my head, right? So you have to wake up every morning, shave your head every day. If not, that's a discipline, even if it wasn't quarantine, you have to do. Mm-hmm. So, little things like that. So I feel like the quarantine, if you look at it on a positive aspect, it can change your life in a good way. But on, if you don't take advantage of that, I mean, you're technically just the person sitting at home being bored and complaining and whining about that. So but my rituals. Every morning I do start with self-grooming. Let's put it that way. Like, started off, jump in the shower. I'm used to doing that. Jump in the shower, drink a glass of water. I spend about an hour in the restroom, just like putting lotion and shaving and just get clean and wake up. You know what I mean? That's a ritual that I do regardless. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't start my activity jumping out of bed and just like loafing on the couch. I literally just take a shower and just wake up, just start up. Even if I go to the gym, I take a shower before I go to the gym, just to kind of wake up, kind of get everything going, get the hot water, get the steam going. Automatically, cup of coffee and a glass of water. Water first, coffee later. That's how I start off every morning, regardless. Quarantine or not quarantine.
I like that. I'm very similar, in my habits. Like, even like right now, like I'm still shaving. I'm still, shaving my head, keeping my face clean. Because to me, it's like, I still, whether I'm going to work, going out public, it makes me feel good, and I need to be feeling on point. And so it's like it's a hygiene thing. And even like I was watching a lot of that guy Wes Watson, the guy that he was in prison for like 14 years, blah blah blah. but they do the same stuff in prison. They still keep their hygiene. They shave. They're very disciplined ones. They're shaving. They're working out. They're eating it the best that they can in these areas. And it's something like, I don't want to just go wild. I still want to shave, look good, smell good, because I feel good, and then I can portray that onto the next person I meet, whoever I run into. Let them know, hey, I'm still taking care of myself, so maybe I can be a light to you. Say, hey, still take care of yourself, even though we're not going to work. Or no, you don't have to, but hey, I think these times right here are what's really going to develop a person's character and those discipline and those habits.
Correct. That's correct. That's the reality of this situation, is that it's almost like in 08, or was it 08 or 09 when the economy crashed? Mm-hmm. There was two kinds of people that existed. There was a person that would whine and complain that the economy's messed up, the economy's crashed, it's broken, we can't find work anywhere, or the guy who put on the suit every day and went out to try to find a job. And he may have got 50 no's, but only he needed is one yes, and he had a job. And he got his bills paid. And it may not have been the dream job that he was looking for, but at least he was working. Mm-hmm. So those are the kind of two people that I feel are in this world right now. You can literally sit, I mean, when it comes to social media, I've seen more videos of people on couches and beds just whining about how poor they are than any time in my life ever that I've seen, that I've seen before. So to me, it's like, listen, you're that person. You're the person complaining about, if you're in real estate and the housing market is awful, that's you complaining about it. The people that succeeded are ones that, in opposition or in any aspect of action, that they're saying, something, I just got to keep moving forward, because that's the reality. I mean, this economy is tanking like you won't believe, but it doesn't mean that you stop, that you should tank as well. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Mentally, you have to keep pushing the strength to grow within yourself, in your business, in whatever you do, your art, because literally a whole day will pass. It's up to you. A whole day will pass. You'll be on the couch.
Exactly. That's one thing. This will pass. Of course, things will never be the same because we're fighting a different enemy, this COVID-19 invisible enemy. But when the gates open and it's time to go back into the world, it's like, are you coming out of the gates running? Are you coming out walking? Are you, I don't feel like coming out, I want to sit back and chill. Once those doors are open again, the go-getters are going to run out there and try and get something, right?
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing that I tell a lot of your viewers, I motivate them, your people that watch you, is that in my industry, we're a season ahead anyways. Mm-hmm. So I'm already booking photo shoots and photo projects that are in August and May and July and June. I mean, weddings are still going to happen in October. You get what I'm saying? So you have to, as a person that creates, you have to think that ahead, because it's almost like if you said, hey, the colors of tomorrow are going to be purple and black, right? But you decide to get on the purple and black project or something on Friday, guess what? You're too late. You know what I'm saying? You missed the boat. So I feel like people, you need to be just like Thomas Jefferson and all these great guys, innovators. Innovators seen into the future, because that's the reality. Like, you need to, if you start thinking of tomorrow, you're too late. Start thinking of next week, the week after. And I feel like by the time this Corona thing lifts, man, it doesn't matter to you because you're already ahead. You're already planning out, your next project. I got people that text me and says, hey, when are you coming back to Orlando to your other studio? And I said to them, at this time it's May, but I'm that flexible that if something happens, it always changes. But May, and I've already got some people already lined up for May, regardless if there is, a lift or not. So you just have to, I think that's the thing, is you have to be aggressive and progressive when it comes to what do you want at it? Like, that's the question you should ask, is, you should ask yourself, is like, mean, what do you want? Do you want to be the tortoise or the hare? Because the hare goes hard, but guess what? The hare goes hard, but it's very emotional. Because you saw how they thought he was going to win and decided emotionally how he was feeling. He's going to take a nap, right? Because he's an emotional character in the story. The tortoise was fast, strong, feet on the ground, and just steady, pushing forward, not giving up, saying, this is the goal. I'm going to keep on pressing, not looking at the hare. The hare emotionally was just controlled by its own mind and said, you know something, I'm tired, I'm going to take a nap. And that's the person that lost the race. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so now you got me thinking. I see you posting videos, stories on Instagram. How important is health and fitness to you as everything relates to you, your business, just life, period?
Oh, I mean, that's a big factor. Body, mind, and soul. You know, you truly have to be I guess a 360 in your enterprise, because it is hard. Let me put it this way. This is the way I see it. If you don't love yourself, you can't love others. You've heard that saying. You know, it's a cheesy saying, but I feel like there's so much truth in that, because in reality, if I don't like taking my selfies and my videos or whatever, what makes you think I'm gonna like yours? What makes you think my work is good, like my work, if I don't love what I do? So I feel like your health, big factor, because if you can't take care and spend that extra bit of time on yourself, you're not going to spend extra bit of time on your craft. And you see that all the time. You know, especially with this COVID-19 thing, you're realizing that a lot of these cases as well, man, you know, there's underlying symptom in most of these people as well, because, you know, it's one of those factors that come on people, especially now. We got to start eating really, really good, and we got to start taking care of ourselves, because you could see the factors. Like, for example, a guy last week literally told me, he goes, man, we have to wash our fruits and vegetables. Like, weren't you doing that before? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand. Like, this COVID is the best equalizer of, like, going back to basics 101 of just hygienic health, living right. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you look at the positive of all the situation, I mean, I'm shocked how we weren't being, you know, more conscious of ourselves and of our environment before this, because it blows my mind. It really blows my mind. So health, I work out like 3 times a week, three maybe 4 times, depending how I'm feeling, depending what kind of TV shows on, you know. But seriously, we got to take care of ourselves. We got to eat right, especially, and you know this because we talked about it. I went into more of a plant-based. I feel it works for my body. Everybody's different. There's people that need that protein and meats, and it works just as well. You gotta find what works for you and go with it, because I'm telling you, at the end of the day, when I'm 70, 80 years old, you know, you're not going to be paying my bills.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You have to look at yourself as part of your company. And if you're going to invest in your company and see this long term, your body's part of that. Because if not, you know, and don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect. I drink a little bit and I'll do other stuff, but it's not my ritual. That is just my social, you know, activities of, you know, once in here and there, you know, nothing too crazy, but you definitely got to take care of yourself.
You know, you make me think, you know, I forget who said it, but like, you know, like you're the CEO of yourself. You're the owner, like yourself is your first business. I am my own business, and you can't take care of yourself. How are you gonna take care of a business, someone else's business, you know, to your potential?
Right.
You know, I think that's one thing they taught us when working at the Ritz-Carlton was, if there's trash on the floor, pick it up. So I used to catch myself, if there's trash on the floor, I would consciously, I'd walk over and I'd look at it and I'd be like, wait a minute, and I'd have to re-step. I wouldn't do this in my house. I wouldn't do this in my business. Why would I do it in someone else's business? So I'd pick the trash up.
Exactly.
Do like little simple stuff like that. Just really, it's a mental thing. And why would you, you know, like, even if you're working, like I always say, even if you're working for someone else's business, treat it like it's your own. So then whenever you do get to your own business, or if you just stay there, like it just pushes you higher mentally, and people recognize stuff, you know, just like you would. If you had one of your assistants treated your business like it was their own business, you're out on a shoot, you know.
Right. And that's the part that that I think, you know, that you have to. It's almost like for me, I'm an opportunist, and I take advantage of every situation. So if someone said, you know, I'll give an example. If someone says, hey, the beach is all ground for you. You know what I mean? You can use it or whatever. You can use the ballroom. You can use whatever to shoot the pool. I'm going to say, yes, I'll take it. And for this quarantine, who are you in your own home? Are you going to take advantage of this time that you don't have to put pants on? You know what I'm saying? Are you going to take advantage of this time where you don't have to be at work at 8 o'clock? You just have to clock in at work, you know, from your home? Are you going to take advantage of the stuff that you complained about? You know what I mean? That people complained about saying, I wish I had more time. You do now. So what are you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Like, yes. you literally, your prayers got answered in a way. And when I mean you, I don't mean you. I mean just people. Like, the prayers got answered. Now you got time. What are you gonna do about it? Yes. And you're starting. And I'm already noticing. I'm already filtering out where I could tell the people that were just BSing and just saying that statement, and the people that are honestly always creating, posting, you know, doing all they can do to keep pushing. Those are the people taking advantage of this time, because that's the reality, is that we're going to have to go back to work. Who are you, and who are you becoming in this time? You know what I'm saying? I see it as just, I'm still working. I mean, I'm always at home talking to clients anyways, in emails. Why should that stop? You know?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm totally with you on that. Like, I think in my head, and then I release it to other people, is when we were working these crazy hours, 50, 60, 70 hours a week, we're like, man, I didn't have time for this or for this. So now that I'm not working 50, 60 hours a week over here, now all the stuff that I was trying to fit into that 50, 60 hour work week, now I've got this huge time frame to work on these things, you know? So like, it's been a blessing in disguise. You know, if you would, I don't know if I want to put it like that, because some people see it as, you know, you can use this as a blessing in disguise. You know, it's not. I mean, everything is. You look at it, the sky's getting cleaner. They say fishes are coming out in different parts of the ocean.
Oh yeah.
Whereas all this stuff, good has been happening to something not so good.
Right. It's almost like, you know, it's almost like that cheesy saying where it says, how do you view, or how do you perceive the water? Glass half empty, glass half full, or what's in the cup? That's what I would have said. But that's the reality of how I break down. There's two kinds of people, you know. I hang around with people that are the ones that are those creative, pushing forward, not following the masses, but like literally feet on the floor. Coffee is for closers kind of people, just always pushing, always trying to go to that level. Because if you don't, I'm telling you, there's a reason why Fortune 500 companies are Fortune 500 companies. They have 20 to 30 to 40 people in every level of their building that are the top people of their academics, top people of their sales, top people that graduated from Yale or from a state college or whatever. They're the top of the cream, and they're working for Fortune 500 companies. There's a reason why they are Fortune 500 companies. Now, people like us that are only 1 or 2 people, staff members, guess what? We need to even be above that and be better than the 10 salespeople at Amazon. And to do that is you just have to keep pushing forward, and you have to keep on progressively educating yourself, but then also educating to the world what you do, who you are, what's your brand, what's the equity, what you bring to the world. And so, you know, when I hear, it's hard for me when I hear people complaining and whining about the economy. It's like those 10 people on the sales floors you know, in Silicon Valley are not thinking of the economy. They're making the economy. You get what I'm saying? They're making their sector. You know, So it's one of those things that the ones that are more aggressive, or like what we say, king of the hill or the doggy dog world, you know what I mean? Like the Jordans and the Kobes and stuff. Like Jordan said it on his documentary. He goes, you know, I think he said something like, to win at any cost. To win at any cost. And he was serious. When most people say that, they're usually just a statement. It's just a statement. He seriously, you could see it in his eyes, he meant it. Win at any cost. And that's how you got to look at what we create. Like all these, my Siri just went off. All these rituals that we do are stepping stones to discipline yourself to become the best version of you, so you could be the best version disciplined into your own business. That's the reason why we do rituals. That's the reason why people say I have to jog every morning before I go to the sales floor. You know what I mean? Because if not, guess what? I'm slowly compromising the steps to become better in my business. And that's truly, I think, you know, your viewers have to say to themselves, who am I when I'm squeezed like a lemon? Who do I, you know, what comes out of me? Who am I? Am I the guy that is going to discipline myself because I want to see the future of my business, myself, my life, my family? Or am I going to be like wishy-washy and just kind of go with it, be like the hare and take a nap when I feel like it, or be the tortoise that is steady, constant, steadfast, you know? I don't know.
You know, you make me
that helps.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you make me think when you're talking, you make me think, you know, you mentioned Jordan Kobe, but you make me think of performing under pressure.
Yes.
You know, performing under hard situation, hard circumstances, which we're in which you can take into the sports world, into any world, music world, business world. When the pressure's on, that's when you really see who's got the cojones or the gear, the drive to keep on pushing forward through that pile of whatever.
Yeah. I mean, that's like in the sports world I relate more with, because, you know, I love sports so much. I love what some of these players are doing, like LeBron and all them, that they're still training, they're still doing their things, they're still working. Because, see, the thing what a lot of people be turned off by is that a lot of people don't have the guts. They don't have the insights to be the top 10 players in the world or the top 10 Fortune 500 companies. Because in reality, if you tell someone from high school, hey, to be a professional basketball player, you have to wake up at 5 a.m., hit the courts, do it every single day at your hardest level. Some people may quit halfway. And if that's you, then you're the hare. And in reality, you have to be that aggressive in business, in yourself, to push and be the top of the top. And I know it may sound like harsh. People may say, oh man, he's so brutally, like that sounds so mean, but it's true. It's true. In reality, there's a reason why millionaires are millionaires and billionaires are billionaires. It isn't by luck. It's right. Opportunity and preparation that puts you in the spot to make the right choice that to other people like ourselves see as luck, you know? And I feel like under pressure, and you know this because I mean you have stories and I have stories. Under pressure, how many times have we done our best work? If it's music, or if it's art, or if it's photography, under pressure, when they're like, you got an hour to set up, or you got 15 minutes to set up and you got to hit it. How many times have you looked back and said, you know, whoa, how did I even do that? And it's my best work.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because you push it. You have to, you know, if you look at two substance, what's, you know what I'm saying, as divide yourself into those two people. The ones that aggressively push it to the limit to be at the top of the crop, the top of the cream, or the ones that just want to just float around, just kind of neutrally, you know, be that bubble that never goes to the top, just kind of like lingers around the ice cubes. It's up to you. I mean, that's and it's harsh because it's true. No one wakes up in the morning and says, you know something, I'm famous because I just sat around. That doesn't work. It just doesn't. Every person I've talked to that is successful in anything, they have busted their butts off from day one, and they still keep doing it. And then and then you peppered that with a little bit of however you are as a person, the hatred or or revenge or whatever, or like you're just a happy-go-lucky. You pepper your personality on yourself, and then you are who you are. So it really comes that's what makes, I think, like the secret sauce, especially this time, is who are you as a person in this quarantine? How are you? What are your disciplines? Do you have any?
Right.
I mean, are you going to make new ones?
Oh, you really got my brain thinking. There's one great thing I did that a lot of you might not know, but Jay, he took care of me on a photo shoot, and he hooked me up with some great photos. And one thing I noticed when I looked at the photos, when I shared them with my mother and I shared them with other people, everybody loved the photos. But there's one thing that I think I noticed, and you can tell me how this works. So we have this thing called the zone, the flow. But I noticed me working directly with you, me already having a great relationship with you, I think it made the photos come out better because I felt comfortable. We were laughing, we were vibing, and we were having a good time doing work. And that was something I noticed about those photos you took with me. And I know I'm going on a whole nother path, but you made me think of this. And so how does that work in your world when you're connecting with another individual, doing the photos? It's got to make a huge difference if you connect with that person, correct?
Correct. I have a saying that I use. I say you got to sit in the small chair to get great work. And what I mean this is, I don't know if you've ever been to an interview process at a big Fortune 500 or a big business. The head boss man will sit in his desk with this high chair, and you'll sit in that little stool ass looking chair that, like, if you move the wrong way, it'll break. You know what I mean? And I don't know if you've been like that, but if you look at every corporate big high job, it's always that same picture: big desk, big pen, his name on the front of the desk, and you have like a little office chair. And he's always above you, and he's always just being like that. I found out, and I always say this, is I always say sit in the small chair, because in reality, if you do any project I've done, people have said the same thing you said, but I barely know him. I just had a phone call and an email. But I've always sat in the small chair, and I felt like switching that role where you're not the one just dominating this thing, but it's like, hey, I got this idea, what do you think? Or I have this vision, are you down with this? Let's try it out. Or hey, something, give me some of your poses. I mean, this is your photo shoot, not mine. You know what I mean? By changing that, I feel like you're giving the freedom and the leverage of the person to be who they are. Because sometimes you may say, turn your head to the right, but automatically, and I learned this way on earlier, I shot a photo of this beautiful model with her left angle, and then she looked at all the photos and hated them. And I said, what's the problem? She goes, well, my right angle is my best angle. You know what I'm saying? If I would have switched that little chair mentality, said, hey, what's your angle? What is your pose? What's your shot, the way you want to shoot it? We would have saved 30 minutes. Wow. You know what I mean? Because once I did that, the photo shoot was amazing. It was incredible. Everything just kept moving forward. And she loved all the photos. But again, it's one of those, you sometimes got to sit in the small chair. Because the only time you sit in that big chair is internally where you want to be at the finish line. That's when you say, I got to control my business and I got to hit it dead on. But when you're face to face and clients and you're working on projects, you really truly have to come together. You really have to come together on that. That's why you were so comfortable. Remember, I even asked you, get a couple poses going and stuff. And the neat thing is, if you get that rapport going, you can shoot out your ideas, take them, and if they don't look good, oh well, at least you shot them. And sometimes I had clients that says, well, I didn't know that was my good angle, but I like this angle the best because we brought that out of the person. There's a lot of people that say compassion. Compassion can be also tainted by false compassion. Like, you really got to be compassionate. Like Chef Ramsay, when you see him cook, he's yelling at people and he's aggressive, but he's passionate and he's compassionate when it comes to the art of it. That's why he cares so much. Right. So whenever we do work as well, it's got to be compassion with your clients, compassion with the people you do work, but it's got to be real. It can't be what I always call fake humility, where you really are trying to be humble, but it's fake. And people see that, people feel that. Like I've seen like 3 or 4 videos already with the quarantine about how the city is going to come back up. And I'm like, dude, just the way you're talking, this is a marketing like pitch. You know what I mean? It's not even real. I don't even feel it. So it's one of those things that it's something that can't be taught, because if you're following your destiny and you're in exactly what you need to be doing, it's always going to be authentic. And it's those jobs that we get sometimes that you're like, dude, I hate serving coffee. This is bullshit. And you hate coffee. You know what I'm saying? And you can see it when you're like, hey, I'll make you a great Joe. And you're like BS all through it. And people see that you hate coffee.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's one of those things.
I see that, and when I go to if I go to someone's business and I see someone like that, I'm like, you're not happy, period. You're not happy here. You're not happy with yourself. You're not happy with something. I always ask them, what would you like to do? Do you have any goals, dreams, or visions? And I want to be a photographer. I'm like, well, there's Curate, this place right down the street that makes coffee and has a photography studio in the middle of it. You could go hang out over there. They do free classes. I heard.
There you go.
Anytime I see somebody in that mode, whether it's at Publix here or there, and I see, guys, they're not having a good time here. What do you do? What do you like to do? And then I'll just try and sprinkle them with a little something. Well, you got YouTube, free classes on how to do whatever you want.
I've gotten more intelligent or more smarter in my business because of YouTube, because I took advantage of it. Because again, there's those two people that I keep talking about. There's the people that will be on YouTube and just kind of binge watch movies or whatever, and then there's people that says, how do I blank? How do I blank? How do I do this blank? How do I do that blank? And just keep learning and learning. Like the best program I've ever seen is that whole program where Masterclass. I love Masterclass because they talk about acting and cooking. It's like, hey, join Masterclass, and you can see all these great people that we admire doing things, teaching people. Once this thing is lifted, brother, everything is payment to the grid, to the rubber, because everything's going hyper speed on business.
You know it.
And so if you are not taking advantage of this time to catch up with work, or to get ready for work, or to invest in yourself to be better, so when this thing is lifted, you're ready to go, then you're going to be exactly where you were before this quarantine, way behind. You're going to be back in 2018.
Yeah, I've got to the point, I'll go through either Facebook or Instagram, and after a while I'll scroll, I'll be like, man, like this is like TV, like there's nothing on here. I'm seeing no inspiration, no nothing, just complaining or just nonsense, and then it got me to, you've heard of a guy, Kawasaki? He was one of the angels, I know I'm gonna get it wrong, but at Apple, when they were, really.
When the angel investors?
Yeah, guy Kawasaki. I remember it stuck with me too. When I get stuck on social media, he said, I don't go through social media no more. And the guy was like, why? I think it was Brian of London Real, actually. And he said, because I create and give content. He's like, I don't take it in anymore or something like that. But he was like way advanced. But he has me thinking like that when I'm on social media. I'm like, all right, I need to make sure I'm giving something and not just taking, So that's where either the inspirational video, the inspirational photo, or music or something, I got to be contributing, giving, and not taking in as much, because if I'm going to take in anything, like it would be like you and like 4 other people, and then I got to kind of stop it there, because then I get too much stuff coming towards me. I'm just like, nah, I don't like any of that stuff. It's just nonsense right now. So right. Give out the content, contribute.
I mean, it's so true. I mean, I've heard Tom Ford, I've heard Chanel's brands always say that we don't follow trends, we make trends, and your mindset has to be like that. Yep. It has to be. I can talk to a person, not by looks anymore, but I could talk to people and I could tell how driven they are, but just a conversation of how they see the world, how they progressively are talking always about the future, never about the past. The past to me, like, I hate meeting up with old friends and we talk about the past because I hate talking about the past.
Mm-hmm.
I always like to say, what are we doing now? What are we going to do now? What are we going to create now? I hate, so I have little tickers that I hate when I get together with some people, because when you start talking about the past, there's a reason why it's the past. You're done. So now we talk about the future, and so it's one of those things where, and like I see that with you when we talk, where it's always progressively forward. I never feel nothing behind us. We're always motivating each other and we're always pushing forward.
Mm-hmm. I love it, brother. I think we better wrap up because I think Zoom's gonna be kicking me off here in a second because I'm not paying for it. I'm using the free service, the free 99, my favorite price.
Take advantage. I mean, yeah. Listen, thanks for connecting with me. Like I said, man, I hope this advice helps. I mean, this is what I'm doing.
Gold nuggets. Why don't you tell everybody how they can find you, and we'll also drop some links. Tell them where they can find you and your work.
If you're not on Instagram, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't know what to tell you. So just at the letter J.Vladimir, VLADIMIR, and you will see all the work that I do. You'll see a picture of my noggin as the profile photo. You can't miss it. But yeah, connect with me on Instagram. I have other platforms, but that's mainly the main one. Just connect with me. Hit me up if you need some advice or you need photography. It don't matter at this point, We just we're moving forward, baby. Just got it.
I love it.
All
right, brother. We'll say peace out to the world, and we'll do this again when we get out of quarantine and see what you got shaking and baking next.
I know. Hey, same to you, man. You're hitting those tracks, brother. I'm loving the tracks.
Gotta do it. Now, I always give you a shout out on the tracks too. I'm like J.Vladimir. I've been giving you shout outs. Gotta get my motivators to motivate this damn world, baby.
I know, we're gonna do it, baby. We're gonna do it. All right.
Peace in that hair grease, South Beach style.
Catch you later.
One.